Hi, welcome. My name is Ali and he's Monty. I'm a professional lawyer and we live in Mexico. He's from Canada and he's a programmer. So we decided to create like this podcast to show you like all the process at how to create a business in Mexico.
Yeah, so we're super interested in business in Mexico. We love living here in Mexico. So we thought, hey, what better way of learning business in Mexico than actually create a business in Mexico? So we're creating a business in Mexico.
I know, and what a journey. So that's why we are here and we want to like introduce you to our project. The name is LexLinker. It's a marketplace for lawyers that we connect lawyers with clients.
Exactly. So take part in our journey while we also learn and share with you all the experiences that we have while creating LexLinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pay
So
attention
pay attention.
because it's really interesting.
Why Mexico is a great place to do business? Why do you think Mexico is a great place to do business?
Well, I consider that it's a good opportunity like for the foreigners because of like the possibilities. Of course, it's cheaper than the States
Mm-hmm.
in the first place. So if you are interested in to like create like a company or a business, like first, you don't need to pay like so many taxes as you pay in the States. If you want to hire employees, you will not pay the same amount that you will pay if you have a business in
Mm.
another part. And I think in general is like more friendly actually.
More friendly, more
Yeah.
business friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's true. Yeah, I think Mexico is a great place to start a business because the cost of labor is cheaper. So you don't have to the bar of entry is lower, so you don't have to spend $1 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars like opening a business. With
Hmm.
just a few $1,000s or even nothing, you could actually get going and you know get
Yeah.
started. And Mexico in general is awesome. I moved here and I stayed here. So the weather is great all the time. The food's amazing. The people are awesome.
We are awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think Mexico is a great place to do business. Yeah. So in order to learn about business, we started LexLinker. So would you like to explain a little bit about how we started LexLinker?
Oh yeah. Actually it's a really interesting story. Well, like I said before, like Monty, he's a programmer and I'm a lawyer. And I'm specialized in corporate law. So 6 months ago, I decided like to start my own business and create my own company as a lawyer. And we were like, I don't know, like, like having those experiences, like creating a new business. And then one day, like I was talking with Monty in the morning and he told me oh, like I use like a platform, like
Yeah. Up
call it
console.
a console, to, I don't know, like to do some contract or something that you need from for something in the States.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like explain me about that. I
Yeah.
want to know more.
Mhm.
And then you told me that it was like a legal marketplace who exists in the States,
Yeah.
that all the people use it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, that's like amazing. And that's not exist here.
Mhm.
So then we were like, wow, like why we don't like try to do that
Yeah.
and like bring that to Mexico? Like I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's how it starts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think I said, "Oh, too bad that doesn't exist here." And then Ali was like, "Hey, that's a good idea. We should do that." And
Uh-huh.
it fits perfectly because she's a lawyer. She has a huge, big network of lawyers, and
Mhm.
she's been practicing law for a number of years. And I'm a programmer, so it just fit perfect. So basically, in the States and in Canada, in the past, I've had some legal projects to do, and I found Up Counsel where you just post what you need done, and then within hours, sometimes lawyers reply to you with proposals, and you can have a free consultation. And I think there's a few of them. There's like Priori in the States also, but they're killing it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and we just realized there's nothing like that exists here in Mexico. So I think
No. Mhm.
just we kind of had a little bit of a light bulb moment, and Allie was like, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
So yeah,
So it's how it
so it's
starts. And
perfect.
we are
Yeah,
here.
yeah, and I know that why I found that site and started using it was because sometimes finding a lawyer is a bit daunting. It's a bit difficult. You have to search for them, contact them. Sometimes they don't reply. Sometimes they reply only a few weeks. Then you have to go down. And then they have their, big kind of scary office and throw
Yeah.
a bunch of fees at you. And, they have a law firm. So there's those fees and there's sometimes you
Yeah.
have to pay them a retention. So with these sites, maybe it follows a little bit more of the gig community where you just
Mhm.
post something and an individual lawyer who's very experienced can just offer you their services.
And I think it's something like really new in Mexico. Like it's difficult to like adapt
Mm,
that the technology is here
yeah.
and we wanted to find like fast solutions.
Right.
So I think this is a perfect tool
Yeah.
for that, you know?
Yeah.
Like as a Mexican too, and I've been in that part as a lawyer, like it's really hard to find like clients
Yep.
sometimes because most of the good clients,
Yep.
they like work and collaborate with those like big firms, you know, like sharks.
Okay.
So it's really difficult to be like a competition with them
Mm,
or like to compete with them.
right.
So for example, like me, I specialize in like business and corporate law, but I mostly work with entrepreneurs and startups
Okay.
because and I discovered that necessity, you know, because that little like companies that they are starting with a dream,
Right.
they don't have the money to pay for a like big firm and like to pay all the fees that they need to pay. So that's why like I think that is a really good opportunity, not only for the lawyers to
Yep.
get more clients,
Yep.
but for the clients too, to have the possibility to hire a really good lawyer
Yeah.
to the level of like a senior lawyer
Yeah.
uh for like less of like 50% of the
Yeah.
price, you know?
That's a good point. And it's fast too. Like
Yeah.
you can do it from your bed.
Yeah.
Just say, "Hey, I need something," and boom, a lawyer responds. And that's a good point that you
Mhm.
made too. That I think you mentioned some of your lawyer colleagues
Yeah.
have trouble finding clients. So this is
Yes.
a way to
Mhm.
help them find more clients also.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes like you know, like all the big companies hire those like lawyers and then they pay them like a little salary
Right.
just for make all the work.
Okay.
But who actually do that work is them,
Is
you
the
know?
lawyers, yeah.
So actually we are giving the opportunity to the lawyers to
Okay.
develop and like to like offer their services, their like law services and professional services in the platform.
Okay, so that's a really good point too.
Mhm.
So instead of most of the fees going to the law firm, here the all of the fees go directly to the lawyer.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's actually much better for the
Mhm.
lawyer. Okay, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So yes, so we're into business in Mexico. We love Mexico. We decided to start a business,
Mhm.
LexLinker. So how has it gone so far? What has the process been so far? Where are we?
Well, I'm in the business side of the creation of these like business in general. So first we needed like to create the society,
Mhm.
which well, I know for you that in the States or I don't know in Canada is like easier than here
Yeah.
because here we have like a big process to like
Yeah.
build the society, like get all the
It's a really
documents.
big process.
Yeah, because they really need to analyze that the business that you are creating is nothing like for like money laundry or things like that, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
So that's why they need to check like our documents as a personal and then the documents that we will bring for the society.
Right.
And then like once you give all those documents to the notary, they will have your project ready for sign
Yep.
like 3 weeks or
3 weeks.
yeah, like 3 weeks after that.
3 weeks after that. So
Yeah.
what is the process in like how long does it take in total?
Well, I think in total now it's taking like a month and a half.
A month and a half to create
Yeah,
a
to
company in
receive
Mexico.
like your like
Certif.
constitution,
Oh,
like
okay.
constitutiva.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so a
Yeah.
month and a half to create a company in Mexico. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a little hard for me because in the States, I think I used a site, it was called inkfile.com, and I could have an LLC within 24 hours for like $300, and it gives you all the files. So when I was talking with Ali, I was like, okay, so we
Mhm.
can create a company in a couple days, right? No.
No.
No. I think so. I think that's been one of our first challenges is just the amount of time it takes to create a company. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so we've been trying to do as much as we can on our side before the company is created. Another thing that takes a long time is the marca, which is the what's a marca? It's a trademark.
Like the trademark,
Yeah, so
like the brand.
trademark for like the
Uh-huh.
logo and the brand. And again, in Canada or the States, I'm pretty sure you can get a trademark within a few weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but here it's a whole other story. So, how long does it take to protect your logo and your name in Mexico?
Well, to do the like to fill like the form,
Mm-hmm.
it's not too hard actually
Okay.
because you can do it online.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you will spend 1 day or 2 days doing that.
Mm.
But the thing is like once you like fill the form and you pay
Yeah.
for the brand, you have to wait like 6 months to a year
Whoa.
for
Did anyone
wait.
hear that?
Yeah,
Six
yeah.
months to a year
To
to protect your
see
name,
just to see if they accept it or not.
just to see if they accept it. And then after
Uh-huh.
they accept it, does it take
Then
time?
they give you
Then they
no, no,
just give it
no.
to you. Okay.
Then like directly
Wow.
they give
So
you your title.
six
Uh-huh.
months to 1 year to create your trademark in Mexico.
Yeah.
So that's an issue too. Because imagine we, we launch the brand, we're building a community. Everyone knows us by our logo and our name. And then after a year, they come back and they say, nope, you can't have it for whatever reason. Like
Mhm.
that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like maybe for you is like something like, wow, I can't believe it that it works like that.
Yeah.
But for me that I've been here in Mexico my whole life, well, it's something that we already know. And like to be honest, after the pandemic,
Mhm.
all the process
Thanks.
like takes more like time.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
things are still slow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
So things slowed down a lot.
For all the work that they stopped to doing during the that like season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I would say those were a little bit of a challenges for us. The amount of time creating the company
Yeah.
and the marca, the trademark.
Well, it's a big process and it happens like to me and Monty like well, first like he's my husband, so imagine like we are creating a business but at the same time we are in a relationship. So so I think like for him as a foreigner it's difficult to understand like how the process like works here in Mexico.
Right.
So that's why we've been working in that like and not only with the like creation of the company and the register of the trademark because we had the situation too like creating the bank account of the company and then it was like it's like really weird. We work in a way like I was like dealing with the banks, and at the beginning we thought like, oh, BBUB,
BBVA,
uh-huh,
BBVA.
BBVA,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So just to clarify, first of all, you're saying you brought up starting a business as a couple. So that's a whole other podcast that we can get into. So how do we communicate and kind of delegate to each other
Yeah,
without sounding too much like one person is a boss
yeah.
and pissing the other person off a lot. So that's a whole other video that we can talk about. Starting a business as a
So we will
couple.
talk about that
It's
in the next episode.
yeah, but then you mentioned going to the bank. Um, so when we didn't want to own the company with our personal name, so we actually created other companies to own the company. Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and so I just created an LLC,
Mm-hmm.
within 24 hours, and Ali created a law firm, a despacho,
And that was a big
and
process,
that's
of
called
course.
Reinventa Legal,
Uh-huh.
reinventalegal.com, and the website actually just launched.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone can go check it out.
Mhm.
Reinventa Legal.
Yeah.
.com. Yeah.
Reinventalegal.com.
So she created this company first, and then after the company was created, I feel like it took like 3 months to create that company.
I think it took like 1 month and a
A
half.
month and a half?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe two because we were like in winter break,
Uh,
like Christmas and the holidays, so it takes more time because of that.
okay.
And then yeah, after that was when I received like the documents for like the company, my company that I create to put it as a partner in the
Right.
society that we create for the for LexLinker,
Yeah.
I needed like to find a good bank, like to work with them to have my like business account, you know? So then I went to BBVA and there was like a problem. So I don't recommend that you open like a business account there because actually there was a guy there in the bank who was like really angry with the employees because someone like what's the name like with someone like hack like the card
Oh shoot!
and
Someone.
they take out like all the money.
Wow, someone hacked their account and took the money out.
Yeah.
So I've heard, yeah, I've heard that's one issue, and they don't care, right? They're basically like,
Yeah, they basically don't care because it's your money.
yeah,
That's why actually like I don't know in other places, but here in Mexico, everyone recommends that it's better that you use your credit card because if someone like hack it or like clone the card,
yeah,
then it will be the money
a-
of them,
it's
of
like
the bank. It will be not your money.
that's a good point.
So when it's your money is a problem.
That's a good
Well,
point.
but at the final, we decided like to go with Santander, which is a great bank, and yeah, I start my business account there, and everything is great. So now we are in the process finally creating the society of LexLinker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and just another point on the banks because we researched it
Uh-huh.
and I researched it too, and everyone says that
Yeah.
BBVA is good if you're already like a huge company. You know, then they care about you. But if you're
Yeah.
just starting off, like they don't care about you.
Mhm.
And that's why everyone says Santander is much more friendly to new businesses. So I think that's also kind of the
Yeah,
what
to
we
be
saw.
honest, they were really friendly with me, and they have like an options for like little business who are like just like startups who are like just starting now,
Yeah.
and it's really friendly and like with good benefits. So yeah, that's why I choose that. And then it was funny because they told me like okay, we just need to like pretend that you have like a business office, and I was like, well, I don't have it yet because I just like creating like the company and everything. And they were like, no, 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 it can be in your home. Just like put some laptops and a desk or something or like papers, and I will go to take some photos.
Yeah.
So it is how it works
Yeah.
actually.
So that was weird. So the bank representative actually came to our home
Yeah.
because this is the address for our company. And he was like, okay, just put some
Mhm.
laptops out, put like a whiteboard up, and
Yeah.
I'm going to take some pictures. So
Yeah.
seemed to work.
So Mexico, Mexico.
Mexico, Mexico. And then how much did we have to deposit to get the company
Oh yeah,
started?
like it's supposed that at the beginning they told me that you needed to deposit or to put in the account like 30,000
Pesos?
pesos.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's like
Uh
$2,000,
I don't know.
something like that.
Maybe.
I think
Yeah.
it's like that.
And then like but then at the final they were like, okay, it's okay if you just put like 15,000 pesos.
Then it went down to 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So but they told me that it could affect me like in like the I don't know like the interest of the like account that they will like discount like
Uh-huh.
a little amount.
And then what's the
Uh-huh.
minimum that we have to keep in there?
Uh 10,000 pesos.
10,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like $600
Yeah.
or something
Mhm.
we have to keep in there.
Yeah. In
Okay.
the bank account.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So that was our business.
Mm-hmm.
So that was her creating her business. So now we're creating the business for the company for LexLinker.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we were like, okay, we're not going to wait. So on my side, on the tech side, I created an MVP, minimal viable product. So it's just what is the absolute minimal amount of features that you need. So we created a prototype. Took me about 3 months, realistically, or 2.5 months.
Like 3 months
Like
probably in
3 months.
general.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So 3 months to have a very, very simple prototype.
Mm-hmm.
For all the geeks out there, I use Ruby on Rails just because I know it really well and it's very fast for development. Yeah. So I think it was pretty straightforward. One complex feature that we had was a payment system. So,
Yeah.
so we used Stripe to handle our payments. I think there was another one, Connecta, that I was comparing to.
Conecta, yeah.
Yeah, and they seem like they're starting off, they're doing great, but they were lacking a lot of documentation. The community seemed like it was lacking a little bit. And what worried me was that I messaged them and they just like never responded. And then I looked at forums where people were asking questions and they just never responded. Whereas with Stripe, I've used it many times before. It's a really big community. They reply to you right away, and there's lots of good documentation. So I think that's why we went with Stripe. Um, but I think one complex feature was our custom escrow system
Yeah.
that I implemented. Do you want to explain the escrow system?
Well, I don't know if I can explain it in English.
Okay, yeah, I can explain it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, well, basically, a client pays. By the
Mhm.
way, she's doing amazing speaking English,
Thank you.
and yeah. Um, so basically, for the escrow system, the client before the job is done pays to LexLinker, but we hold it until the client verifies that the job has been completed.
Yeah.
So because of that, the lawyer feels good because they know the money's there, so they can complete the job. And the client feels good because they know that the lawyer is not going to get paid until the job is done. So I think it creates a lot of trust on both sides.
Hmm.
But to implement it was a little intense. So I would
Yeah.
just say that's probably the most complex. But other than that, it's just very basic. They can message each other. They can host a job. We call it projects, and the lawyers can give proposals, and then the client can have a conversation with them,
Hmm.
and then they can hire them, and then they can work together with, messaging, document uploading, and sharing. So yeah, and then so that was the geek side, that was the development side. But there was a whole other aspect to the business side. So I think you were making like a lot of documents and so
Oh,
what were
yeah.
the type, so for the business side, what were the some of the things that you did?
Well, first I needed to create like all the documents that as a requirement from the government we need to have in the website, like is the privacy
Privacy policy?
privacy
Yeah.
policy and terms and conditions,
Yeah.
which it was
And
like,
you did all that from scratch.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really hard actually, like terms and conditions, because I've been working with other companies like that I needed to do it, but it was more like simple like websites. But here we were talking about like a platform like who
Yeah.
collects like payments.
Yeah.
So it was like a little difficult like to establish like all the rules of the game
Right.
actually. And and then, well, we've been working in a pitch. Well, I was working in a
Yeah.
pitch deck. So we wanted to use that to present like with the future like investors.
Mm-hmm.
And then the elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like the hardest job for me was like the business plan in general.
Business plan.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time on that. I think it was like 20 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually it's the first time that I really realized
Yeah.
like all the work that we needed to do, you
Right.
know? And it was a little bit when I was doing it, I started to feel like it was a little bit overwhelmed, you know?
Overall. Yeah.
Because there's so many things to do in a business that normally when you are like outside and you never realize that, you know? It's like for you it's like man just like publicity and like start to having like networking and that's it, like no, it's not just that.
Right.
So there's like so many areas. So I think we are working that, and the best strategy that I can say is that just start with like little things on or on every area, because
Mm.
it's like so difficult that you will like control like everything. And we were working like as a team, you know, like he needs to be in charge in some like task and I need to be in charge in other task. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those are a lot of interesting points. So one thing you said was the terms and conditions and privacy policy. So we
Yeah.
were worried about a few things because I don't think anything like this exists in Mexico.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions came up,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, who gets paid? Do we keep them kind of like the money first and then send it to them?
Yeah.
How do the taxes work? We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think as a lawyer, you think about all that stuff from the beginning, so
Oh
what
yeah,
were
my
your,
mind works like that.
yeah, which is good, which is good.
So, but at the same time, I know that I can do this like alone. Of course, like I needed like a professional accountant to help us
Yeah.
and to guide us
Yeah.
actually, because we are talking about like an escrow system. So I'm a lawyer, but actually, like I said that to you, like that's like another area. So, so yeah, I think it's good like to do the like the things in the way that we have to do it like in the beginning,
Good. Okay.
to not having problems like in the future.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, for taxes and accountant,
Mhm.
we're still in the middle of actually talking with accountants
Yeah.
and tax specialists
Mhm.
about how it's going to work exactly. So I think
Mhm.
you're researching some.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, that's big. And
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
So actually, for my side of the business, now we are in that part. We are
Yeah.
finding the perfect accountant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So basically the site is up. If you go to
Mhm.
lexlinker.com, you'll find the site. But the payment system is just in test mode because we need the company to be created.
Yeah.
So, and so I don't know if somebody wants a job and they hire someone, we could probably do like something custom for right now, but we really need that company to be
Yeah.
created so that we can get the payment going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay. What other topics do we have?
I don't know.
I think we talked about everything. Dealing with banks. I think we talked about everything. So what are so before, we all the energy and time for like a long time was going to plan our like wedding before. So now we don't have that. So now on your side, how do you think? So Ali's the CEO, I'm the CTO. So I'm
Mhm.
tech, she's business. So from my side, I'm just going to keep adding features, and we just created our social media accounts.
Yeah.
So we're starting to do very basic posts and
Mhm.
ads. And then on your side, what do you think the strategy is going forward?
Well, I think the first step is like create a community. So in my side, I will start like connecting with more like lawyers. Like these years are the elections in Mexico.
Right.
So in during this season, like they create a lot of like groups of like lawyers or people who is like interesting in those like areas. So it's a good opportunity. So actually my strategy, I will be involved in the elections of this year, and then I start to create in a community, which is the most important thing, like first you want that the lawyers like believe in you, that this is a good like app for them, and actually we are doing this for them to helping them, and then we want to like create connections with those like startups and entrepreneurs, so then they can start to knowing about our like website, and they can start to feeling that they can trust in that. And if they have like any doubts, or like they need a legal advice or a contract, or like to register a brand, then they know that they can use LexLinker. Mhm.
Awesome. That sounds
Mhm.
like a very exciting
Mhm.
strategy.
Mhm.
And then one thing that I realized too is like we don't have that much money to spend on ads.
Mhm.
So I was thinking, what other ways could we get it out? And hence the podcast,
Mhm.
Emerging Mexico, because we just thought it's a great way that while we're learning, we can also share her experiences with people
Yeah. Mhm.
and share, and we can learn about business in Mexico and we can share that with everyone else also. So we thought that's a great way to bring people to LexLinker also.
Mhm.
And nowadays, everything is like podcasts and influencing and social media. So I think that's why it's important that we're a part of it
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
So this is the beginning.
So this is the beginning. This is actually our first podcast on the series of building a business in Mexico, learn with us. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So all the ups and downs and easy parts and hard parts, yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna share with everyone.
We will keep you updated with all
Yes.
the process
Yeah,
of creating this business. Yeah.
exactly. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. For all of your legal needs in Mexico, make sure to check out lexlinker.com. You just post a job that you need, and then right away, expert lawyers reply to you with proposals, and all the prices are affordable, and you can do it right from home.